The Springbok coaching staff haven't yet made a final decision on the replacement of injured hooker Malcolm Marx. Fly half Handré Pollard is one of the players who's under consideration to take Marx's place in the team. We're now joined via Teams by rugby analyst Dan Retief. Dan, good morning, rather. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, the loss of Malcolm was headline news, but let's put it into perspective. How much of an impact will it have on the team?
It's a terrible blow to the team, because we're known to have this fabulous scrum and a really good tight five, of whom he is a member. And the Springboks have already had an injury to Eben Etzebeth, who's one of the strong gears in that group. And then Malcolm is considered to be the best hooker in the world. So it's a terrible blow for him personally. It's a blow for the Springboks that they have lost a really key player. And I think the problem with Malcolm Marx going down is at the moment there's just one specialist hooker in the team. They might have to call up Joseph Dweba to get a backing at hooker. But they're also looking at Handré Pollard because they also have only one specialist fly half there at the moment. So the team have said what they're going to do is they won't make a replacement, an announcement until this afternoon's game after Romania has been completed. So there are quite a few things going. There was some good news overnight, though, that Eben Etzebeth is recovering really well because obviously the focus has to be on this afternoon, Romania, but the big one is yet to come, and that's next weekend against Ireland.
But then judging from most of the pundits, it seems as though Pollard might be brought on board. But let's look at the areas of concern now for the Springboks. Much was also made of Manny Libbok's missed kicks with last week's game, the last game rather. And I know that most of his colleagues came to his defence. What did you make with the back and forth around his kicking skills?
Yeah, what concerned me, and it has concerned me for a while, and I was very impressed with Siya Kolisi really coming up for him and saying, he is our man. And he does special things as a fly half. He has a lot of other skills that he can bring to the game. But he has been missing his place kicks, and that is a real worry. You don't want to have something like that go wrong in a game you have to win. Yet, to me, the problem has been apparent. They've created a thing called the stop clock in Rugby World Cup, and that is to speed up the game. So a player taking a penalty has only 60 seconds to do it from the moment he indicates he's going for the post, and 90 seconds from the moment a try is awarded so that you can go for the penalty, for the conversion. What Manie does, he seems to take too long. His ritual in getting ready for the kick is too timeless, and what he needs to do is speed up, because I felt the kicks he missed in his last game was because he was rushing to beat the stop clock, and hopefully they've picked that up, and they've sort of got him at a point where they say, look, Manie, if you're going to take a place kick, there is the stopwatch, get on to it.
If we had to theorise a bit here and look at perhaps Pollard being brought on board, and for the more important game that you touched on, Ireland, could it be a possibility that we could have Pollard here actually starting before Libbok?
Yeah, well, what Handré Pollard's managed to do now, obviously, he's the fly-off when we won. He was the fly-off when we won in Japan in 2019, and he kicked extremely well. Although even in that game, he missed his first kick of that final, which sometimes in the mists of memory, it goes away. He has played this weekend for Leicester, his England club team. He came through the game in a sort of a strange way, kicked one, missed one, and got a yellow card, which is very unusual for Handré Pollard. Pollard and Manie Libbok are two very different players. Manie likes to take the ball to the line. He likes to move it about. He's a great passer. He's very good at the cross kick. And he's really grown into the role. But Pollard is a man who's been in a final. He has the experience. He's a cool customer. And he's considered to be a better goal kicker. And I think when you've been there before, that very much counts in your favour. So I think they will look at today's game against Romania and say, do we need a specialist hooker? They claim they don't, because Marco van Staden, the flanker, can play hooker, and obviously Deon Fourie has been a hooker. Or do we use the gap in the team to bring back Handré Pollard? That will obviously probably be a bit of a blow for Manie Libbok. But when all is said and done, we're going to get through this tournament by playing finals rugby, no risk rugby, taking your points. So I would not be surprised, like the other pundits have been saying, that the call has already gone to Leicester and said, get ready to board the plane.
Then let's take a look at Romania today. Just our opponent for today, they suffered a humiliating 82-8 to Ireland in their opening match. So any chances of them perhaps surprising the Boks?
No, I don't think so. You know, they're one of the minnows of world rugby. They can be very tough. They're known to have hard, tough, abrasive, aggressive forward. But that victory that Ireland scored over them, 82 points. So I think it's irrelevant to our game. You know, we obviously have to win well. We don't have to worry about scoring 80 points. I think our aim is to beat them first. That's what you have to get done. Secondly, we want to score 4 tries. We want to get a bonus point because Ireland have come out of the blocks and they've racked up the points. So they've got a very good points difference. So we've got to first get those things done, get the bonus point, get a victory, and then start working on the stuff that we're having a look at. There are a lot of quite interesting combinations. Jaco Reinach and Damon Willemse at fly half, 9 and 10. They could be extremely explosive. They're both big, strong, fast boys. They're looking at Estes and Kanan Moody in the centre. Moody has now been moved into inside centre. So that is a very interesting selection. You know, they could push to be in the top side. They've done the most amazing thing, trust Rassie Erasmus to come up with a side entry. He playing Grant Williams on the wing. I thought they might want to look at Grant Williams at scrum half because, this kid is quick, he's fast. You have to watch him all the time. But they've got a lot of things that they will be watching in this game. But first, win it, then go for the bonus point. And no, don't worry about scoring 50, 60. But I have no concern they will win it. And then their focus can move to the Irish game, which is next weekend on Saturday, the late game on Saturday. And that is pretty much going to be a game to decide which of the teams, South Africa, Ireland, Scotland still in the frame, can top that log. And if you top the log and France top their log, then that means we play the All Blacks in a quarter-final. And I have a feeling that both Ireland and the Springboks would prefer to play the All Blacks.
I hope we take it today. But then just in closing, broadly speaking, some of your colleagues, many commentators rather, say that our path to the final has many potholes. We have a tight team. Do we in fact have a tight team to navigate this road to glory, if you will?
Yes, they have a very good spirit. Many of them have been through Japan and they're on their way now. They've had a fantastic build-up. We have this great set of forwards. Then we have our bomb squad that comes on and in the last 30, 20 minutes, the last quarter of the game, they do a lot of damage. I think we have an extremely tight team. We're very good at playing, no frills rugby, no risks rugby. That's, Jake White, when we won in France in 2007, he used to have a mantra. He said, you win 7 games. You win 7 games in a row and you win the Rugby World Cup. But this road to the World Cup is definitely going to be the hardest the Springboks have ever had. They've got to get through that Irish game. And the Ireland, who've been racking up the points, playing extremely well with some wonderful players. They're up and running. They're number 1 in the world. Obviously, Ireland have one challenge after us. They still got to get through Scotland. And then, as I say, the quarterfinal for us, it's either going to be the All Blacks if we qualify or France. And I don't think we want to play the home side in a quarter-final. And then from then on, you start getting England, Australia, Fiji, whoever comes from the other side. The other side is much weaker. So if I could give a preference, play the All Blacks in the quarter-final, get through that, win your semi-final against whoever, which we should be able to do, and then end up against France in the final, which will be, the most wonderful occasion at the start of France. But we have a team that can do that. We've got wonderful players. Their spirit seems to be outstanding, well captained. We've got a lot of leaders, and we've been there before. And I think that's extremely important.
Dan, thank you very much for your analysis. That's rugby analyst Dan Retief.